The Patriots outlasting the Kansas City Chiefs 43-40. It is exactly the type of game we as fans wanted going into that game. It is exactly the type of game that we got. It is exactly the type of game, I'll be honest, that I think the NFL wants you to see. It is exactly the type of game that we're going to keep seeing. And in this day and age, what Warren Sapp, my buddy from NFL Game Day Morning, from back in the day, he would say it all the time, and this is a guy that was part of the Tampa 2. This is a guy that had Derek Brooks and John Lynch behind him, which I believe Lynch will have a gold jacket just like Warren and Derek Brooks. He would always say, defense doesn't win championships anymore. Offense wins championships. Defense will just give you a chance, and that is what is happening now in the NFL, and last night's game proved it. You've got a Brady-led Patriots team that now, 3 weeks, again, this is why you have to pump brakes in the early parts of an NFL season and not get over your skis too much. This team that we saw last night put 43 points on the Chiefs, and I understand the Chiefs are defensively challenged. They didn't have Justin Houston last night. They're still waiting for Eric Berry to come back from his heel injury. But this team 3 weeks ago, sitting at 1-2, we were all, although not here at this desk, but many we're saying this is the year that it's all going to fall off. No Brady, no Belichick. This is the year where it's all going to go down the tubes, that this is a team that doesn't have the offensive firepower. That's why they went out and acquired Josh Gordon. And I'm like, wait till we see Julian Edelman come back. And in amidst all of that discussion, unbeknownst to us, what the team was doing was also getting a young bulldog coming off of a hamstring injury, suffered as many rookies do in the first few weeks of training camp in the preseason, soft tissue injuries, trying to get up to speed in the pro game. What the Patriots were doing was getting a monster in Sony Michel ready, and now here you have an offense with a 100-yard rusher behind Tom Brady and Sony Michel. You've got James White, who can catch the ball out of the backfield, so you've got a running back who can run it. You've got a running back who can also run it and catch it, and Sony Michel is being kept in more and more often on passing down, so if he's learned how to pass protect, look out. Now here comes an offense that has Edelman back, and an offense that, even though Gronk had one catch for 17 yards through the first 3.5 quarters of the game, he comes up so big in the fourth quarter where two things happen. One, the Patriots schemed him open in a brilliant scheme to knock his man-to-man coverage defensive back off of Gronk at the line of scrimmage. So he's wide open for a 40-yard bull run down the field. And then later on, when it comes time to need to get one more catch out of Gronk or somebody to get Steven Gostkowski in field goal position to wrap things up, when you give the ball to Tom Brady and the Patriots with mere seconds left on the clock and less than a minute to go and a chance to win the game, here comes Gronk. And Brady dropped it in perfectly to him, and that was all she wrote as Brady just lofts it in the air. Gronk had one-on-one coverage. Good night, nurse. And it doesn't matter how poorly the Patriots play defense. At some point, they're going to start doing their job a little bit more than most, and you have to tip your cap to the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are a dynamite offensive team, and they scored too fast with Tyreek Hill, that 75-yarder. As soon as he hit the end zone, and the Chiefs end up getting back in this football game and end up taking the lead, I thought to myself, guess what, tying it at 40? You did it too fast. And I even thought with 3 minutes to go, as Tyreek Hill was being told he was number one and had a beer thrown in his face, as we saw on Twitter, I even thought maybe Reed should go for two. Too early to do that, but if they had scored towards the end of that game with like a minute to go for two.
I mean, that was all the rage on Twitter anyway, whether or not they should have went for two earlier in the game.
Yeah, I thought that was a smart move by Reed. You don't chase points that early. Kick the extra point, keep on schedule, go for two when you have to absolutely do it. Don't just do it because it makes a nice round number to tie the game with a quarter to go. Man. How dynamite is that kid, Patrick Mahomes?
And just imagine if they would have scored touchdowns earlier in the game instead of settling for field goals.
Well, they couldn't do it because the young man had issues in Foxborough, as usually happens. And if I'm a Chiefs fan today, I'm thinking this is as tough as it's going to get for him. Sunday Night Lights in New England, where now New England has won 25 straight games against kids who are under 25. Okay? And they picked him off twice, and he still came back like, I guess the pitcher that he is. You got to erase the memories of the bad inning before. And Tyreek Hill is dynamite, and Kareem Hunt is dynamite, and they have got Sammy Watkins, and they got weapons galore, and we'll see these two teams, one would think again, and all Kansas City just has to keep doing is win and stay ahead of New England. And New England would still have to come to their house. What an incredible game that was. But this is why, at the beginning of the season, I chose New England to go to the Super Bowl for the AFC, because Tom Brady is just, you can't even say he's the GOAT. He's just, a GOAT would make it seem like, he's human. He's not. We'll never see this again. A 41-year-old doing this, and I understand that Breeze has all the records, and I understand that Breeze is 2 years on Brady, but we just don't see this stuff. We don't see it. He doesn't even have any signs of slowing down. He's 41 and he's doing stuff that he just beat Patrick Mahomes. It's really unbelievable. And the weapons, they've got an all-world future Hall of Fame tight end. They got Josh Gordon getting better. They've got both Hogan and Edelman, who could beat you 16 ways to Sunday from the slot. They've got a kid who can run the ball behind Brady, who's getting 100 yards every game out now, it seems. And they've got James White, who's a matchup nightmare. And all they have to do is just keep Brady upright and start playing a little bit more defense. They've got a really good kicking game, and they've got the Lombardi of our era on the sideline.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.